Hi guys, how you doing? It's Wednesday. I thought I'd do a wee video because I've not done one in ages. So I thought, what's topical? I don't really know what to talk about. But then I thought, well, there's only 2.5 weeks to go. Hopefully, you guys are going to just keep coming to the end now. And with the Christmas party season coming up, I know a lot of folk are thinking, I wonder if I could get a wee bit leaner in time for the staff night out, the work or whatever. So in 2.5 weeks, it might not sound like a lot of time, and without question, in 2.5 weeks, you can't lose a lot of like body fat or weight in 2.5 weeks, without sort of risking losing muscle mass and stuff like that as well, and feeling really lousy. But I decided to make this video because I was on the back of after the morning class yesterday, and myself, Michael, and Emma went for a quick breakfast, and we were just kind of chatting, and Michael was talking about how I think it was Christine, his girlfriend, about how in really quite a short space of time, like she's sort of hit the both of them have sort of tightened things up in their diet a wee bit, and can't believe the difference. Well, not that they can't believe it, but it's amazing the difference that can be made in a short period of time. Essentially, when you cut out like a lot of just the basic junk food, like processed food, and it came at the same time as like I received a couple of food diaries actually this week, and what I think is can be kind of concluded from most folks' food diaries is that see meals, most folks' meals aren't that bad. Like most people's meals are pretty decent. Like because at the end of the day, everyone knows what they should be eating now. Like prioritising protein, prioritising carbohydrates around the training. And vegetables essentially, right? And most folk know how to make a nice healthy meal, a chicken veg stir fry, for example, or something like that. So the meals aren't that bad. So if folk are struggling to make progress, it tends to be maybe snacking that's starting to add up. And Michael had given the example of him and Christine, that they would just find themselves going. I'm going to end up painting a mad picture of Michael and Christine. I'm not meaning to. That they would just find themselves over the course of a week, maybe going through a bar or two of dark chocolate each. Was that each? I don't know. Don't quote me on this, Mike. 'Cause I can't remember exactly what you said. And that's personally for me. That's the exact same for me. So when it comes to like when I'm not as tight with like my nutrition, which I've definitely not been this entire block. Actually, this has been probably the most lax I've been with my food and my training, just because everything's gone a bit chaotic over the last few months with the arrival of Tom. But it's the same for me as well. Like I still eat good meals. But I do find that it's the extra snacks, it's the sort of comfort eating and things like that you end up that add up a lot. And I'll probably go through one of these big bars of dark chocolate. I reckon maybe 2 a week at the moment, maybe 3 a week. Probably 3 a week. So, and he was saying that just by what they've done is they've just simplified things. They've just got into it's just consistency. They just consistently ate their breakfast, their lunches, their dinners, healthy meals, and cut out like junk food basically, or cut out snack. They're still, don't get me wrong, they're still going out and enjoying themselves at the weekend, but I just mean on a sort of consistent daily basis. They're just reining it in a wee bit, and trying to be aware of the extra snacking. And I think that's a really basic good message for anyone, that it's the stuff that outside the meals I think is maybe what folk are struggling with enough. So if you're ensuring you're having really filling meals that are protein rich, vegetable rich, fibre rich, that are leaving you feeling satisfied, then that's the whole point. You're not going to be craving as much other stuff. And when it comes to just out of habits of comfort, which I think happens a lot more when you're tired, because I find myself constantly going for tea and some dark chocolate and stuff like that, then just about try to rein that in. So I think one of the most obvious ways, one of the ways that I've been finding easier, is just to not buy it as frequently. Every time I go to the shop, I find myself buying more chocolate. But if it's not there in the fridge or in the cupboard, then you're not going to eat it. And so without question, just bear that in mind. Try not to buy it as much if you find that you're someone that struggles a lot with snacking and all that. And if you are wanting a sweet treat, obviously there's nothing wrong with that. But just try and find ways around it, or rein it in. Instead of having like half a bar, have a fifth of a bar or something like that, and try and enjoy it more. Take your time over it. I still think that the dessert style protein, or when you put a scoop of vanilla protein into a yogurt with some grapes and some flax seeds, is a delicious, really satiating and filling, and it's quite sweet, so it feels like almost a dessert you're having, but it's obviously not get anywhere near the same sugar or fat content, and it's also protein rich, so it's going to really fill you up, plus the fibre from the flax seeds. So think about that. So, but the other point I was wanting to make regarding that was that what Michael and I both believe, and what we've noticed, definitely what I've noticed, see the people that make really quick progress, like in 4 weeks, as we said yesterday, like, it was at the end of the day, you're not losing a ton load of fat in 4 weeks. So if you're seeing a visual difference, quite significantly, visual difference in your face or your stomach area in 4 weeks, which can happen, and I've seen it happen loads. It's not because you've suddenly lost a ton of fat. But what does happen, and I think this is maybe a bit more prevalent in females, I'm not sure, just because of hormones and things, is that I think high processed food diet, and reducing it significantly over a short period of time will reduce water retention and reduce inflammation. And right away, the bloating will start to disappear. Now, the effect of that won't be the same for everyone, so it depends on the individual. So, because there's no, without question, there's some folk that are more tolerant of other foods than others, and you won't know until you sort of reduce certain or isolate certain food groups. Some people have got actual intolerances, but I just mean that within that, I think there's probably underlying things that processed foods that are really rich in sugar and things like that, if you're having them a lot in your diet and lots of fizzy juice and things, then you will be more prone, I think, to a bit of water retention. Now, I'm not actually aware of like how much science studies have been done on this, but I'm just talking purely anecdotally. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I personally feel it like when I just focus on drinking like water more and reducing like a lot of the processed foods and sugary sweets and snacks, that although you're not, you might be taking in less calories overall, but on top of that, like over a short period of time, if you suddenly notice quite a dramatic difference in your energy levels and how you feel, something else is going on there. It's not just about fat loss. So it's worth bearing in mind, like, you can bloat, you can be a bit more, have a bit more inflammation and hold on to a bit more water. So by reducing inflammatory foods like that are processed and junk food, you're probably going to find that that's going to make quite a significant difference physically, as well, in terms of how you feel and how you appear, and you'll probably look a bit leaner because you'll hold on to less water and things like that. Especially if you're more hydrated. That's the irony. The more hydrated you are, the less water you'll hold because your body won't need to hold on to it, so you'll retain less. So just, as I say, this is just a bit of a message, I guess, like to say, if you're wanting to really rein it in for the last 2.5 weeks, there's nothing wrong with being a bit stricter. Being strict for a period of time doesn't need to be sustainable, but it also doesn't mean that you shouldn't ever be strict just because it's not necessarily sustainable. I think I use an example of, just because you're never going to drink alcohol again doesn't mean you should never abstain for it for a prolonged period of time, because it'll give your body a break, it'll give it a rest. And I'm sure one of my doctor pals once told me, this is not directly linked to nutrition, about the liver and alcohol consumption after a real binge. It takes up to 2 weeks or something for it to fully recover. I need to check that, but any doctors that are reading this, because there's about 10 of you in the block, you can maybe let me know if that's true. But it was something about liver and how it responds to alcohol and how long it takes to sort of fully recover, because obviously it recovers as well. So that's my point. That you can be a bit stricter. It doesn't mean necessarily reducing your calories too strict. There's a difference. So you can just restrict certain foods, like junk food, processed food, but you're still eating plenty of food from like whole foods. Like lots of vegetables, filling your plates up with a bit more healthy fats, and that kind of thing. So just bear that in mind. Being strict isn't the same as restricting. There's in the strictest sense of the word. It's to do with the type of food, and the quantity. It doesn't have to be. They don't need to be the exact same thing. So you can reduce the amount of food you eat, or you can just isolate the types of food that you're consuming, and I do think that that's going to make a difference. So all I'm saying is, if you want to really tighten up, make a wee difference in these last few weeks and allow to complement the training you're doing, these sort of Rocky type sessions, then that's what to do. That was all. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling a wee bit, so I'll just stop it there. I don't think there's much more to add to that, is there? So anyway, yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.